Saturday night of Budweiser International Classic Weekend at Oswego Speedway got kicked off with the ATQMRATQ Midgets here at the Steel Palace, Oswego Speedway, and it was Joey Payne from the outside of row number 1 and car number 51, making quick work of the field, jumping out into the early race lead down the back straightaway. But early on in this one, super modified driver John Gambuti gets into trouble into corner number 1. He caught a wheel from the 33 of Frank Fisher. Gambuti would rejoin the field. On the restart, Payne continues to run away from the rest of the field, but there was trouble again in corner number 1. This time it was Buddy Slode and Matt Roselli making contact. Slode tags the inside hub rail. Don Adams in the number 52 gets involved as well. After the restart, Joey Payne again checking out from the field, this time with the number 98 of Matt Roselli in tow. Roselli would give Payne all he could handle here in the middle stages of the race, but eventually Payne would pull away and check out in this one. Robin Johnston running in the second spot. Ryan Tidman, though, he has something to say about that. He pulls to the low side out of corner number 2 and moves into the runner-up position, driving the number 1B. Payne the leader, Tidman riding second. Johnston now slips back into position number 3 in car number 13, but out in front, it was all the Jersey Jet, Joey Payne, pulling double duty on this Budweiser International Classic weekend. He picks up the win here at Oswego Speedway over Tidman, Johnston, Roselli, Frank Fisher in the top 5 ahead of Matt Janish, Allison Cummins, and Sean Goslin also picking up a TQ midget ride.
Well, you know, like I said before, I started driving these cars, and they really teach you good car control. You know, teach you how to drive wheel to wheel, and you know, when I first started driving midgets and supers, everybody thought I was crazy because I made some crazy moves, but you know, me, Liquid Lou, the Fenoro brothers, you know, we all grew up in these cars, and that's how we're taught to race, and you know, we just know how to make it through traffic, and you know, these cars they teach you so well. It's such a good training ground to come up through.
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good start at the beginning. Then once the caution came out, I started 4th, and the leader and Robin got a good start, and I tried to track him down as much as I can, and I finally got Robin coming off of 2, and I thought I was catching Payne a little bit, but it looked like we were just so even, I just couldn't make up that little bit of time.
Yeah, it's a tough battle, especially when you're getting older like me, 57, but Ryan Tidman got me clean, and it was a good race. It was a nice battle between him and I.
Ready for a night out on the town? Tonight, try something different. Lighthouse Lanes in Oswego, a family-friendly recreational facility. You won't miss a minute of the action. You can enjoy wings, burgers, pizza, and more right at your laneside table. Stop by for an evening of cosmic bowling. Catch all of your favorite games on our big screen TVs. Plan your next party. We have room for up to 150 people. It's family-friendly fun for all ages. Lighthouse Lanes in Oswego, Route 104, next to the Speedway.
The Bud Light SBS Classic would see time trials on Friday night to set the top 18 invert in heat races on that night as well, and Dave Cliff would set fastest time and Chris Ted's number 77.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, to be honest. I mean, we were decent in practice. We put stickers on for the time trial. I wasn't sure if that was a good call or not. I was hoping to scuff them a little, but car wasn't great, but it was definitely fast. I mean, I could mash it, and the car just hooked up.
After time trials on Friday, everybody would move into 3 qualifying heat races. And picking up the win in heat race number 1 was the number 9 of Jack Patrick. The goal for everybody in these heats was to finish in the top 4 so that they could regain their handicap positions for the big 16-lapper on Saturday night. Patrick picking up the win in heat number 1. Chris Proud back in action would edge out Cameron Rowe and Tim Barbeau in heat race number 2. Very nice to see Proud back in victory lane once again here at Oswego Speedway. Heat race number 3 would see the number 22 of Mike Bruce back in action. He was driving for Chris Ted on Classic Weekend. Bruce gets the heat race win over the 17 of David LaTulip as Mike gets a handshake from his father down in victory lane. Here now you can see the top 21 cars that would qualify out of heat racing action, with Patrick, Proud, and Bruce gaining heat race wins. The other 9 drivers would have to go to the SBS Classic Consi, and you're going to see the highlights of that right now. This race took place on Saturday afternoon of Classic Weekend, and it would be Louis LeVay Jr. and Tim Guru, a former super modified track champion, up there on the outside of row number 1 for this 10-lap consolation, which would see only 4 cars transferred to the 60-lap Bud Light SBS Classic, and one of the cars in this race was very much unexpected. The 04 of Craig Harrith, your defending small block super modified track champion here in 2012. He pulls underneath the 47 of John Tesserario, then to the inside of the 95 of Louis LeVay Jr. Those 3 would check out. That would leave the battle for the transfer between Tesserario and the 1 of rookie Anthony Lacerdo. Tesserario, however, would be able to hang on to that spot as Timmy Garou would outgun the 04 of Craig Harrith for the win in the Bud Light SBS Classic Consi on Saturday afternoon, with Harrith coming home in second ahead of Louis LeVay and Tesserario in those qualifying spots. The number 99 of Dennis Rupert would actually pick up the final commitment car provisional. He would be the final car to take the green on Saturday night. With qualifying in the books later that evening, pre-race ceremonies would begin for the Bud Light SBS Classic 60 as the drivers get their annual introductions over the podium here at the Steel Palace, and then that patented Le Mans-style start for the SBS division here on Saturday night of Classic weekend. Pace truck pulls away, and now the field begins to pull away, including your pole sitter, David LaTulip, in car number 17, Cameron Rowe, would start on the outside of that row as they get the green flag out of corner number 4, Timmy Barbeau, and Jack Patrick back there in row number 2. And early on, LaTulip and Rowe would battle side by side for the first couple of laps, but in the end it would be Rowe gaining the advantage to the outside in the corner number 1. He would be your race leader in that brand new FFB chassis number 74. Later on, Barbeau swings to the inside of David LaTulip. Bruce makes contact with the back of the 17 machine, and that causes a parking lot. In corner number 3, a number of cars knocked out of the event in this accident. You get another look at it right here as the 17 and the 22 come together. Jack Patrick, Mike Bond, Chris Proud, Barry Kingsley, all with nowhere to go, as we get another look at it here from the in-car camera provided by Mike Bond, and you can see just how quickly everything happens. Bond nowhere to go. The 9 of Patrick just emerges out of nowhere, knocking Mike Bond out of this one. Bruce in the 22 car, though, he would be able to continue on. However, the number 3 of Chris Proud, a lot of front and rear end damage to that car. That machine would be center hooked off of the speedway, and you can see the dejection in Mike Bond's face. 2 years in a row, he is knocked out of the SBS Classic in the early going. Once we got back to green, Rowe would again pull away, but it was Rob Pullen and Russ Brown on the move as they worked to the outside of the number 79 of Tim Barbeau down the back straightaway. Now down the front, shoot it into corner number 1 is Andrew Shartner, and the 77 of Dave Cliff now pull up onto the back bumper of the 79. As we head on down into corner number 1, Shartner trying to look to the outside of Barbeau. That leaves the inside lane open for Cliff in the 77. Dave Cliff, his only SBS race of the season. He now slides up into the top 5, driving the Ted Neck Racing car number 77, as he and Barbeau now look to try and close in on your front 3 of Rowe, Pullen, and Brown. But we can see on the back straightaway, all of a sudden Russ Brown had issues coming out of corner number 2, a flat right front tire on that new Hedger chassis. Car number 13, Brown puts his hand in the air, quickly moves to the inside of the speedway, heads into the pit lane as the Hedger crew goes quickly to the right front of that machine. They get the repairs made, and he heads back out onto the speedway. You can see on the replay in slow motion, Brown trying to work to the inside of Pullen, just barely makes contact with the left rear corner of the bumper, and that would cut down the right front tire of the Brown number 13. Back underway in racing, Harris slicing his way through the field, gets under the 91 of Barry Kingsley, but Josh Kerr and Kingsley make contact out of turn 4. That brings another yellow flag onto the speedway. Kingsley would be able to continue on as Brian and Brad Haynes also get involved up there as well. On the restart, this was Pullen's one chance at the championship. He slides to the outside, tries to work to the high side on Rowe on the restart, but could not quite make it stick. He would have to settle back into line. Later on, Cliff finally finds the inside line on Barbeau to move up into a podium position. Andrew Shartner able to find his way through, as well as the 77 and the 18 move into positions number 3 and 4. Well, Russ Brown, he can see all this going on up front. After going all the way to the tail side of the field, he works his way back through and up into the top 6. Now working around the 69 of Mark Castilla. Brown would next chase down Tim Barbeau. He would then slide up into the top 5. But up front, it was all Cameron Rowe. In car number 74, he would go on to his first career Bud Light SBS Classic win with a tremendous battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th between Pullen, Cliff, Shartner, and Brown at the line. Barbeau would hang on for 6th ahead of the number 69 of Mark Castilla, the 24 of AJ Burness, Craig Harris, and Tim Guru would round out the top 10 as Jason Simmons and Mike Bruce make a little bit of contact at the conclusion of this one as Cameron Rowe pulls down into Chris Nelson Insurance Victory Lane. He talked with infield announcer Keith Zare.
I'm ecstatic, you know what I mean? Dan Denny builds the best car, and that's FFP, I believe, is right there. But he builds the best race cars. We're showing it today. That car ran 2 times this week. That's it. And look where it is. To be honest with you, we rented the track on Tuesday. We were a little nervous at first, but Dan Denny knows his stuff. What can I say? Well, you know, you always wonder because, you know, we do typically 30-lap races. You know, what's 60 laps on a tire, you know? How many greens, you know? I think the yellows were hurting us a little bit. Car pushed to be a little loose. But other than that, you know, the thing was virtually unchanged once we got back up and going. I know I seen Robbie show me well on the outside there, made me a little nervous. But what are you doing?
Well, I'm a little tired, but it's not too bad. Just the end of the race there, last 6 laps, I think my engine was spitting a little bit of oil, so it's hard for me to see. Everything kind of got blurry. But I was glad to hang on to 2nd.
Nah, that's really what cost me there. At one point, about 15 to go, Rob and I both kind of closed up on Cameron. I was under Tim a couple times and just couldn't quite complete the pass, and I really spent too much time getting by Tim. And like Rob said, the last couple laps, he was spitting a little oil, and I seemed to get looser too. It could have been some of his oil I was running through for all I know, but certainly happy to finish 3rd. I'd like to thank Chris Ted for giving me the ride. Larry Morosky came through with some fuel for the weekend. Certainly our crew that's been with us all along, they helped and worked on the car. And this is a fun class to race. The racing's just so close. It's just a lot of fun.
Ready for a night out on the town? Tonight, try something different. Lighthouse Lanes in Oswego, a family-friendly recreational facility. You won't miss a minute of the action. You can enjoy wings, burgers, pizza, and more right at your laneside table. Stop by for an evening of cosmic bowling. Catch all of your favorite games on our big screen TVs. Plan your next party. We have room for up to 150 people. It's family-friendly fun for all ages. Lighthouse Lanes in Oswego, Route 104, next to the Speedway.
Well, after the SBS Classic, it was time for the Bud Light ISMA Supernationals. And little did anybody know at this time the kind of race they were going to be treated to here on Saturday of Budweiser International Classic weekend with Canadian Ryan Coniam and the 61 of Mike Ordway up there in row number 1. And in the early going, it would be Coniam pulling out into the race lead, a former winner at Oswego Speedway, but that was back in the day driving one of the Pathfinder Bank SBS machines. This is the first time Coniam had ever run a super modified at Oswego Speedway. Well, further back, one of his good friends, Mike Lichty, was beginning to slice his way through the field, and Coniam in the 46 was pulling away well out in front, already working lap traffic early on in this one, but you could see some smoke beginning to bellow from the back of the 46 car. Initially, they thought that might be a concern, but Coniam was allowed to be able to continue on driving that number 46 machine. Further back, look at the traffic here. As Eddie Whitcomb in the 97, Robbie Summers in the 11, Tim Ice, Jeff Locke, all trying to work their way through the lap cars of Brandon Bellinger and BJ McDonald in car number 66, as Whitcomb and Summers make their way through first. Ice eventually works his way by on the high side, as does Locke in car number 37. As you see Ordway in the 61 now trying to chase down the 46 of Coniam, who would hit lap traffic once again. Now remember, we're just about halfway through this event. No caution flags to this point. The field had got strung out, but now it has begun to tighten back up as Coniam moves in on the lap car, the number 18 of Dan Bowes, as he's trying to work his way through the field. As you see Conium stuck behind the 40 of Magner, now he ducks to the inside, gets by Mark Samet and Craig Ravels as Ordway slips way high. That allows the 32 of Timmy J. Timmy Jedrzejek in the Danny Sewell, car number 32. He now comes up into the mix, riding in position number 3, not too much further behind, is the 74 Johnny Benson. Well, Jedrzejek, as the race wore on, he was the fastest car in the Speedway. He works to the inside of Ordway out of corner number 4, now moves up into the runner-up spot, as Benson begins to close as well in the Patco Transportation number 74. Well, once they cleared traffic, Conium was able to run away one more time in the 46, but Jedrzejek and Benson began to hook up in tandem in second and third. They stayed in line, would now do their best to try and chase down the race leader, and eventually they would be able to do so. Conium running in traffic behind the 28 of Bobby Dawson. He pushes a little bit high. Mark Salmon, another lap car right there. Conium trying to fly by the 78 on the high side, pushes way high into corner number 3, and that allows Jedrzejek and Benson to work their way through. You got a new race leader. It's the 32 of Timmy J. Lichty would move into the third spot as well right there in car number 84. Well, no cautions yet, and with just a handful of laps remaining, Benson tries the inside on Jedrzejek, but that opens the outside lane for Lichty to move to the outside and pull into that runner-up spot. He would then try the inside on Jedrzejek out of corner number 4, but breaks loose, smoking the tires on the 84. What a job of driving by Mike Lichty. He's able to hang on to it. Lichty would also hang on to that runner-up spot as Benson tried to slip through as well. On the race's final circuit, Jedrzejek temporarily gets hung up behind the 28 of Dawson, but he's able to use him as a pick, and Timmy J comes across the line to get his third career ISMA Supernationals win over Mike Lichty and Johnny Benson. It would be win number 2 also for the Danny Sewell team in the ISMA Supernationals, as they had picked up a win some years prior with Noki Finoro behind the wheel, but win number 3 overall for Timmy J, picking up wins for the Kovacs team, the Reed Salvage team, and now cool Danny Sewell in that car number 32 as Timmy J talks in Chris Nelson Insurance International Classic Victory Lane.
Them last couple laps, I knew somebody was behind me. I didn't know who it was, and I was in lap traffic, and I didn't want to push it too hard in lap traffic and give it away, but when Mikey got a wheel underneath me, I had no choice but go to the outside and do my best to make it work. And luckily, coming off the 4 there, I had enough grip, and I don't know if I remember right, that was the last corner of the race, and I beat him to the flag. I don't know how close he was, you know, if he got around Bobby on the inside maybe, and we drag raced off of 4, I'm not really sure, but I did know that we won the race for sure. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the 46 and the 61, I got it, the green flag, they were gone, and I thought, wow, if this thing goes green, it's going to be a race between the two of them, because I didn't have nothing for them. But, you know, as the race went on, I felt my car got better, and then the 61 started to fade a little bit, and I got around him, and then I could see the 46 was smoking. I didn't know why, and I didn't know if it was tire smoke, if, you know, it was something little, but he started smoking, and then we got into all that traffic, and I don't know if he had a mechanical problem or what, but he slid way to the high side, and I went around the bottom, and then I was stuck in all that traffic, hoping I wasn't going to be the next victim. But, you know, here we are in Victory Lane, the Soul 32. We had a couple hard weeks here, and, you know, Danny and I were talking, and I sent him a little email that said, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, and it certainly made us stronger tonight.
They were definitely wild. I hope the fans enjoyed it. Green to checkered, a lot of lap traffic, a lot of good passing. Well, we didn't start out the greatest, actually, and we didn't finish the greatest, but the car was just a little too neutral in the center, and one lap it would push up a little, the next lap it would be a little loose, but I don't know. I mean, we started 8th, we ran quick time today. We passed a lot of race cars, and I think a couple more laps, I knew that Johnny was getting loose. He was driving it in a ton. I gotta give him a lot of credit. This man, there's a reason why he runs NASCAR, or did run NASCAR, because he is, I mean, he's a badass driver, and following him, it's pretty cool to watch the moves he does make, you know. So I just followed him for a little bit, and I knew he was going for the lead, and he got washed up there a little bit. We got underneath him, and I knew Timmy was, you know, he wasn't right down on the hub rail, but then he'd one or two laps, he'd go down on the hub rail and kind of wash up. I think, you know, he was getting fairly loose, kind of just hanging on, and we were loose too. I think we just, you know, we had a pretty good car, a much better car than a lot of other people out there for the amount of laps we ran. We just ran out of time.
Timmy J was pretty good. Our car was good. Mike's was obviously pretty good, and I thought I had another shot at him, but Mike was smoking the tires off 4 there, and I was underneath him, and then
kind of come down, I just kind of took a shot away. But it was hopefully a great race for the fans. It was good from where I was at.